They didn't specify that it had to be a particular kind of shampoo made for dinosaurs only. How harsh would it have to be to wash a dinosaur?
Yeah.
You'd have to be pretty gosh darn harsh.
You know what? I will admit that's never something I've thought about.
It looks like we got a Hunter versus Paladin matchup, and you take a look at that web spinner in hand. Usually when Hunters are playing web spinner, they're trying to focus more on an actual curve rather than just strictly damage, and hope that they can end the game with one big push. This deck will oftentimes use Houndmaster. It's going to find some pretty solid 5-drops in here, maybe Ram Wrangler to go along with it. They're just trying to get stuff on the board and then take advantage of the fact that they have it there. And this Paladin deck, very much trying to do the same thing. It just wants to have a strong curve at every step of the way. They have some of the best drops that are there, along with Shield and Minibot muster for battle, this Mysterious Challenger that you see in hand right now. But they're looking for a lot more early action than this. I expect all of these cards to get mulligan in this opening hand.
Yeah, sort of at the beginning of the Secret Paladin era, players would hold on to Mysterious Challenger. And then they realized that, wait, this deck is sort of good even without just Mysterious Challenger. Yeah. Like, it just has good cards. And so, you want to curve out early, have a strong board presence, and then on turn 6, that's sort of the trump card. You just drop it, and it's like, GG.
Yeah. Who am I?
None of your business.
Yeah. Well, it's somebody's business because they got to deal with it. This hand for Florida Gulf Coast looking fantastic, by the way. It looks like turn 2 Knife Juggler, and then on turn 3, they have options, which is something that's kind of rare for the Paladin decks. Usually they just have one powerful drop. I don't know what to do. I have options. Well, it just really depends on what's going on. So, I think they're super happy to see this turn 2 from Embry-Riddle. It means this Knife Juggler is likely to go uncontested. That Divine Favor, pretty poor draw. It will likely be unused this entire game. But again, take a look at it. Knife Juggler into either Coghammer, Aldor Peacekeeper, or a Piloted Shredder. This curve is looking fantastic right now. And Embry-Riddle, they've already picked up a utility card, and then they drew one of the heaviest drops in their deck already. So they're working on some slim pickings at the moment. And that Snake Trap, I think pretty darn unlikely to really help this get going.
Yeah. It's a little bit of a rough start, especially since Secret Paladin is one of those decks that can punish you the most for not curving out well. If you don't have control of the board going into the potential Mysterious Challenger turns, you're probably going to lose, or you're going to fall so far behind that it's going to be really tough for you to come back into the game. And Florida Gulf Coast seems to be running a slower version of the Secret Paladin. They have Outdoor Peacekeepers and Double Shredder. We haven't seen any 1-drops yet, aside from, of course, Secrets. But still, it can be punishing.
Yeah, this trap does have a benefit to come along with it, though, which is what Florida Gulf Coast actually thinks this trap is. Snake Trap, I feel like, is kind of unlikely given the way this board scenario has panned out. Probably one of the last traps that's on their mind. But it's super likely that it's either Explosive or Freezing Trap. And in either one of those scenarios, they don't really want to attack with their Knife Juggler. So this Snake Trap kind of acting almost as a bluff, where it's enticing Florida Gulf Coast to use it right now to make sure they can get a bunch of value from it. But at the same time, they don't want to overcommit and have something disastrous happen. So they check for this. See, now the thought that it's Freezing Trap is really deep in their mind. The one thing they don't know is that it's Explosive Trap.
Yeah.
Like, they know it's not Explosive Trap. So at this point, it's like, is it Freezing Trap or is it not Freezing Trap?
It's not Bear Trap.
Yeah, it's not Bear Trap either.
Could be Snipe.
It could be Snipe, but that's the reason they chose not to attack here, is because they're fearing the Freezing Trap so much that they want to keep this 3/2 Divine Shielded minion on board. That also has an effect with it. Like, this is a powerful spot for them right now. Very defensive play, but I think it's the right call.
Yeah, and now Embry-Riddle's sort of in a tough situation where they really don't want to leave that Knife Juggler up uncontested. That's a pretty big silence target. You remove that effect with the knives. You also remove the taunt and the Divine Shield, but then you don't really curve out. You're just hero powering after that. So that's a little bit of a rough spot.
It's true, but how much more value can you really get out of an Ironbeak Owl in this matchup? They did keep it in their opening hand, so that's something to note. But in a spot like this, I don't think it's unreasonable to play the Ironbeak Owl. Even post-attack, I wouldn't think it's unreasonable. But like you said, curving out is just such an important thing here, especially given how heavy their hand is with the Web Spinner pickup. So likely they're going to continue to be focused on that and hope that the value of their curve can really carry them through this game.
Yeah. No Golden Paladin.
Who does have a Golden Paladin, really?
Feels like everybody does.
See, I feel like if you didn't get it like in the last couple weeks, you just don't. Like, if you didn't, I'm sorry, if you didn't get it like
there was a
way before the last couple weeks, you just don't have it. I mean, can you get 500 wins in 3 weeks? I mean, I guess with Secret Paladin you can,
it's easy.
TJ's like,
I got 500 wins yesterday with Secret Paladin.
I only played for 3 hours.
Yeah. No, there was a time at the beginning of the year, too, where everybody was playing mid-range Paladin.
Yeah, I know they were. That's what I was kind of saying. It's pretty hard to have a Golden Paladin.
Yeah.
So now they get the word that this is Snake Trap, but I think that that's something they kind of caught on to when they saw that web spinner attack.
Yeah.
So here's the muster for battle. They're going to hope that they can go crazy on these juggles. They even have a noble sacrifice to back this up. So a hefty cost on the life side of things, but this could potentially pay off in spades because now they're also getting additional damage from this, and they're protecting their knife juggler. This is a fantastic looking turn. However, Embry-Riddle does have Unleash the Hounds in their hand.
Oh, yeah. They pick up a knife juggler, it'd be the best draw, but they don't. Unleash still great on this board, though. They'll be able to clear it. The thing is, they're not really playing anything else, though. They can play Iron Beak Owl, but at this stage, the knife juggler's already done, a lot of work to them. So they have to factor in that the knife from the noble sacrifice. It might pick off.
It's very likely to pick off one of these minions.
That dog had so much to live for.
And in the end, he gave his life.
It doesn't even matter. I thought that's where you were going. BlizzCon's at the end of the week.
I was going to say that's for next week.
Yeah. Well, Embry-Riddle does have Savannah Hyman going into the next turn, but they're going to be holding their breath because Coin Mysterious Challenger could come out.
Well,
but it's a Piloted Shredder.
The other thing they got to hold their breath for is to hope that there's no Aldor Peacekeeper in the hand, which Florida Gulf Coast just happens to have. Embry-Riddle, I think, did what they needed to do to try to get a footing in this game, but Florida Gulf Coast has just kind of had the trump cards every step of the way. Even with the Unleash the Hounds, Embry-Riddle still yielded initiative over to Florida Gulf Coast. They're the ones with the minions in play right now, and they have answers to top it off. It's very rare that you can find yourself in that position, and then even more rare that you can get divine favor value in this matchup. Like, they have everything going their way this game, like in terms of having answers, in terms of having development. It's just, I don't know if Embry-Riddle can really climb out of this situation without a great series of draws.
Yeah, their hand was so clunky at the beginning of the game. They had so many expensive drops, even the web spinner. Got a 7-mana beast. I mean, that's actually pretty rare. There are a few 7-mana beasts with the Jormungar, with Gazrilla, and with that Corehound. Oh, and Acid Maw.
Yeah.
That's just a lot of 7-mana beasts. Actually, 7 mana is average.
He's like calculating his head.
Wait
a minute, every beast is 7 mana.
Follow the rule.
Yeah, I don't think that Lions really like to follow rules that much, but it certainly is going to have to here. It looks like Florida Gulf Coast is thinking about this Divine Favor right now, but they do have options to just play the second Piloted Shredder along with it, or even coin and then Divine Favor to get an extra card. I think personally, I like the Piloted Shredder. I mean, your opponent's got a 1/5 on board right now, and you can just put a massive amount of pressure out. They're going to go with the straight-up value, it looks like, but now they're debating it. The coin, I think, is coming out either way, and I think once they're looking at the board state, they go, man, he couldn't deal with one Piloted Shredder. How on the earth is he going to deal with 2? I totally agree with that.
And they have Redemption up, so they hedge their bets.
Against that Unleash the Hounds.
Trade in, also, against just killing off the 1/1 and getting a 1/1 back. Now, they might even have 3 Piloted Shredders.
That's true. They do have the Redemption in play, too. That's actually a great heads-up play from them to make sure that they're not just getting that 1/1 back, because that's where that Savannah Highmane was headed, lest there be a Houndmaster here. But even here, which one of these attacks is really profitable for you?
Yeah.
Sure, I guess. Yeah, this is looking rough. Again, still some ways to climb out of this. They are going to get some pretty significant value from this Highmane, but once again, Florida Gulf Coast has the check. They already have Consecration in their hand.
And Divine Favor to refill their hand. This is nuts.
This is pretty close to the dream scenario for them.
Who needs a Mysterious Challenger?
Yeah. Not Florida Gulf Coast this game.
Imagine if they did have a Mysterious Challenger.
Just keep it in the opening hand.
Yeah. We're just going to
drop. Great.
Yeah. Great.
Even Emperor Thorson kind of got hard to keep because decks were so focused on these curves like you're seeing right now.
Tempo is so important right now in the game.
Yeah.
That you can't afford to hold on to something that's 6 mana just because of how powerful it is on turn 6.
Look at this. Even trying to reduce the amount of overall damage they're going to take by quick shotting a 3/1 instead of one of these 4/3s and leaving extra body. That's a pretty darn good one, too. I mean, now,
I'd say so.
I think at this point, now that you've gotten the Bone Guard Lieutenant, that You even have a realistic option to play the Avenging Hero Power instead. But they want their cards right away, and I can't blame them for it. Again, it's just so difficult for Divine Favor to give you more than a card or two in this matchup, let alone 3. We can see they're even playing Secret Keeper, so very focused on that early curve and wanting to be scaling into their late game afterwards. Meanwhile, Embry-Riddle picks up what is likely the worst card in their deck.
Look, his hair is the same color as our border.
He blends in well.
Yeah, I know.
That was his master plan.
I got frightened for a second. I'm like, oh, whew. Forgot that guy had green hair. So the border's leaking into the portrait.
Who didn't let these watercolors dry? Do you remember playing with watercolors, by the way? And you always felt like you were going to create the wonderful image that was on the box. And like you just never even came close.
Where are you buying your watercolors?
Well, you know, when I was like 8 years old or
I just
whatever.
bought those little ones that came in like those. It was like 7 colors, and it was in like that. It had a little glass top.
Yeah, and they always had like the picture on the front.
Yeah,
where it was
mine
like,
never had pictures.
Oh, right on.
I shopped at Walmart when I was.
You know what? I'm gonna go buy some watercolors, and I'm gonna go watch Bob Ross and try to recreate one of those paintings. That's where I'm gonna go. Loatheb is what they're going with. They're trying to shut off as much utility as they can, and maybe even a little bit of afraid of. I don't know, maybe some more Divine Favor shenanigans, just a bunch of secrets shutting them out utility-wise. Either way, Florida Gulf Coast is really in the driver's seat in this position.
Yeah, you know, those heavy beasts are great if you can drop them on sort of an empty board, but since they take a turn to actually do anything, it allows the Paladin, you know, so much time to just react, and now Embry-Riddle's going down to 8 health.
They have also had picture-perfect positioning around that Piloted Shredder. They're really crossing their eyes and dotting their T's. I'm sorry, crossing their T's and dotting their I's on this one.
Yes, they are. Piloted Shredder placement, of course. You get a Flame Tongue Totem or a Direwolf Alpha out of that puppy. Yeah. Placing it in the middle of your creatures or in a place where you know that creatures will spawn to the right of it is always good.
Yeah, it will spawn effects that buff minions on either side, so important to really be seizing every little percentage that you can.
It rarely happens, but when it does,
it's a beautiful thing. So even here, they were considering not playing these minions to try to play around Unleash the Hounds a little bit more, and they still might even consider doing that. And I don't think it's a bad plan. They're so far ahead. How they actually lose the game, it's some sort of shenanigans is how this one's going to slip away. So they maintain their patience and hope that this board state is enough to get it done.
A little weird that they played the Secret Keeper because Owl Unleash Kill Command is lethal with 4 creatures and an owl.
Yeah, you're right. That is.
Well, actually, it's lethal with 3 creatures too, so I guess it doesn't matter. They should have played the hero power then as well. That's the only situation I can see killing them.
Well, not necessarily about death, but is there a way it can just slip away from them?
It's true.
Yeah.
I mean, their opponent is at 8 health, so they would have to really clear the board. But I guess it's just, you know, like you said, oh man, brutal.
Yeah, you didn't draw one, but Piloted Shredders made sure to go filter through the deck and find one for you anyway.
Yeah.
That is one of the best drops that you can get from a Piloted Shredder, and boy, is that devastating in this spot.
Yeah.
Just ensures that they're going to continue to take more damage.
Well, actually,
3, 4, 5, 6. That's not enough to end the game this turn.
They need to kill this Tundra Rhino because if they don't, they're dead. Even if they do kill it, they still might be dead.
Yeah, you're actually right. They do need to kill this Tundra Rhino. Next turn, Embry-Riddle will have the ability to play the Savannah Highmane and the Animal Companion, and regardless of what they get, that Tundra Rhino's in play. All your beasts have charge. They just will have enough damage to kill Florida Gulf Coast.
Wow, we were sort of joking about how this game was sort of a runaway game from.
Well, it was for a
Florida
while,
Gulf Coast.
but Embry-Riddle has just made fantastic trades, and Florida Gulf Coast recognized this could be a problem.
Reporting for duty.
And there's the Loatheb. That's going to shut off Unleash the Hounds. That's going to shut off
Animal
Kill Command.
Companion.
Yeah, this game, that's the thing, is they needed to make that one play to kill the Tundra Rhino. And they once again recognized that was about the only way they were going to lose the game. So just making sure they play absolutely picture perfect, all the right timing. When you draw right and you play right, that's usually the winning combination.
Yes, it is. And they're smiling. They know it. Embry-Riddle's going to try and see if there's any way that they can survive, but
the middle guy's smiling. The other 2 guys are nervous. Like,
the leader has smiled.
There's got to be some way a hunter can kill us, right?
Yeah.
He's got 10 mana. You're just Leroy Faceless.
Oh.
That'd be brutal.
Then they have to worry about Noble Sacrifice, so.
It's true.
At that point, you're dead on board, so you'd go for it anyway,
Yeah,
regardless.
I think so.
But, you know, when was the last time you saw a Hunter run Leroy and Faceless?
Never. I've never seen it happen.
A year and a half ago at rank 19.
TJ ran into it game after game. It was a struggle.
People were talking about Miracle Run. I'm like, what about Hunter?
What about Eventually, TJ built his own Leroy Jenkins Faceless Manipulator Hunter deck, and it climbed him all the way to Ogre Magi.
Yeah. Yeah, they're going to call it the well played, realize that there's not anything that they can do to survive. Even Misha won't give them enough. And with that, Florida Gulf Coast University goes up 1-0.
Well.